Hi there, Sitecore enthusiasts, and welcome to another episode of Friday Sitecore Best Practices. My name is Vasily Fomichev, and I'm a Sitecore MVP. In this episode, I'd like to touch a little bit on Sitecore events. In particular, how to use events to solve interesting problems of getting content updates from our delivery environment into our authoring servers. For instance, let's say user-generated content is coming into the website in the form of a comment or any other data submission that users do on our website. Users submit the information that gets saved in, let's say, web database. Now we need to transfer that information from the web database into our master database for a variety of reasons, right? Starting from content curation to putting it through a series of workflows and whatnot, right? So the point is we need to somehow take the user entered information and put it into our master database for further processing. Well, the knee-jerk reaction is more often than not to do a call directly to the master database from delivery servers. And that is actually one thing you want to avoid as much as possible. Even worse, your delivery servers might already be disconnected from the master database, and to implement that functionality, you would add the master database connection to delivery. So that is a big no in the Sitecore world. I mean, there's a whole list of reasons to avoiding that, starting from agents double firing, events being messed up, to security issues with Sitecore. That now we're actually doing an inbound call from the outside, from the less secured area, inbound to our DMZ or to our more secured area of the website. Now we're opening up ports, SQL communication ports, to allow incoming traffic to hit our SQL server, so which is not a good thing. So, what is the recommended approach here? Well, Sitecore is already doing it. Sitecore is using events to communicate between environments. So, for instance, cache clearing remote event, is a good example of triggering remote events in delivery environment on publish event. So what we can do in this case, for instance, with the user comment submission, we can create our own event. As you can see on this page, we're looking at the good old SDN that's still hanging on. There's a really handy page on how to override or customize Sitecore event handler. So this kind of gives you an overview of the default list of the old list of events, right? The new list of events includes some new ones, but this is an old list of events. However, it is a good and informative page to use for event overriding or patching. So this is a good example on this page. So we're not restricted to this list of events. We can go ahead and create our own event. Just simply come up with a creative name and register it using config file patching. So following the same format, right? So kind of do the type, colon, action, right? So that is the handler that will take care of copying our comment or taking our comment from, let's say, the web database and inserting it into our master database content. So the next thing we need to do is to queue the event. So we can queue the event from our delivery environment. Once it's in the event queue, authoring environment will be checking that event queue on a regular basis. And once it finds that event, it'll trigger this event, which will in turn trigger our custom handler that we'll create. Now in this case, master database is doing the import, so which is a big difference. Now we're doing an outbound call from the more secured area, we're doing an outbound call to the less secured area to grab the data versus doing an inbound call from the outside in, which is not recommended. So now we're not exposing our SQL server to inbound traffic. We're doing a call to the delivery database from our authoring environment. We're grabbing the comment. So in our event queuing, we will specify some parameters that will allow us to find the comment that we need to import. And in our handler, we'll grab the parameters from the arguments passed by the event handler. we'll find the comment in the delivery database and we will import it into our master database and make it available to our content authors or whatever other processes we need to run. So this is a much better approach than calling directly to the master database. So if you can, as much as possible, stay away from writing directly to the master database from your delivery or even a preview environment. Sometimes you would set up another database and set up a different URL to allow previewing changes for users that don't have Sitecore accounts. In those cases, also avoid writing to the master database avoid writing to the master database from any other environment other than the authoring. If you do, there are some things that you need to account for, caching, for instance, and things like that, getting content in sync. That gets pretty tricky, and that's why setting up 2 content authoring environments is always a tricky task. But that's a different topic. So first and foremost, make sure to avoid using or connecting master database to deliver servers, period, and then use remote events to communicate between the delivery environment and the master environment. So raise remote events from delivery environment on the authoring server, kind of the opposite of what the remote caching event does. It raises an event on the delivery servers from the authoring server. Here we're reversing the process. So we're queuing out the event in the delivery environment, and the authoring server will pick that up. So there you go. So hopefully you like this tip and use it in your solutions. And if you like the video, of course, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and for more tips like this, check out cmsbestpractices.com, and I'll see you next Friday. Over and out.